So this is the Lizard 95. I was waiting until I blew a camera, antenna, motor, ESC. This is one of the first ones when they first came out. I don't know about all the other batches, but this thing has stood the test of times. But I want something a little bit better, so I bought some stuff. So we're going to attempt this, and I'm going to bring you guys along the way to see if I can get this with a micro cam and a 200 milliwatt VTX. So what I've got is a regular plain Jane Foxeer Micro Aero Pro. I did red. And I'm going to attempt to get this VTX 03 in there into the GEP RC what's in here? There we go. HX2. I believe this is called the... What is this called? I don't know. Anyway, let's see what comes in the frame kit. So you got some cool little stickers. That's the first time I've seen those. You have this useless strap that nobody ever uses. A lot of useless rubber bands that I'm not going to use. Maybe use the battery pad. There's some standoffs there, some screws, and the good stuff. Not much to this frame. It was cheap. It was like 13 bucks. I don't know, 15 bucks, something like this. So there's the bottom plate, and then you have your top plates and your pieces for your camera there. Not too much to it. I'm going to see if I can get it to work. A lot of people are having issues getting this to fit in that frame. So I'm going to attempt that. If not, I will have to get the Runcam TX200 to go behind the camera. Okay, so we're first going to start. You want to use the 1.5 millimeter screwdriver, and we're going to just take all the props off and then get to the good stuff. Now that the props are off, I'm going to disassemble the camera and go ahead and take apart the motors off. Got our motors off, and I took the top plate off. It was just 2 screws on the front and 2 screws on the back. This popped right off. I'm going to unplug the LEDs, but I'm going to try and see if I can get these things on the new frame. We'll see how that goes, but I'm going to take the stack off too. Okay, so we got everything off. Here's all the guts. Here's the frame. I'm going to see if I can get this piece off. Wow, that's really wedged in there. Huh. I'll have to figure that out. That's I don't know if the camera will zoom. There we go. So they're wedged. That's weird. Anyway, I'll figure that out. Keeping my battery strap. I separated my motor screws because I think, I'm not certain, but I'm pretty sure that this frame is very close. Well, it's a little bit thinner. That's appalling. I wanted a thicker frame, but that works. We'll see. So here are the directions. At least it gives you something. And I want to show the differences in the plates here. This is the Lizard on the top and the HX2 on the bottom. You see it's just a little bit longer. Hopefully we got enough room. Let's see. If we put this, let's see, the battery's in the back. So it's going to be about there. I remember I had to scrunch these up. Yeah, I think they'll make it. Yeah, should be fine. You don't have to do any customized stuff. Cool. Okay, now that I have all my motors on, I do want to say a couple things. Number one, this is the front end. You can see that here. This is the back where it kind of sticks out. You can see that. Number two, always remember that the leads for the battery are coming out the back for the stack. Okay. What I also wanted to mention is this is a thinner frame. Now, the Lizard frame is about 1.5 times that. I don't know if you can see it. But what I had to do is I had to get out my trusty little assortment of M2 screws that I use for cameras. One weird thing is right here, I don't know if you can see it, but right there, this thing is dropped. See how low that is? See how much that's raised up? I tried pushing it back in, it did not go. It still spins, and I've been flying it. I don't know how long it's been like that, but we'll see how long it lasts. So next will be doing the camera and the VTX, and I'm gonna try to find where I can put this VTX on this thing. So let's see what I can do. Okay, so we found another little dilemma as well. You can see these standoffs, they are right at the line, but if you put this thing on here, you can see it's not touching, and when you push it down, you're actually pushing the bind button on the top of this thing. Now, I can do this a couple different ways. I can put a little plastic nut right there to raise these up. Oh, it's out of focus. Or I can shave off the bottom of these standoffs, because you can see I've got quite a bit of room there. I don't want to mess with the integrity of the frame. It's already thin enough. I think I'm going to shave those bottom standoffs right down here. Just shave them down just a little bit. See if that can be enough. Okay, so before I tried to make this thing a little higher, you're probably not going to see this, but I did a test fit, and it barely makes it. Like, we're talking paper thin, but it doesn't touch anything. So that is quite a squeeze. I don't know if you can see it, but it's not touching. I checked. It's not touching anywhere. So it will fit. Barely. So we're going to go to soldering up the camera and VTX. Okay, so I have the camera and the VTX here, and I'm going to flash a picture up on the screen for the wiring diagram so you guys can see. But it's pretty simple. It's not that bad. I'm going to take off the VCC pad for the OSD for this camera. I'm probably going to save the hole just in case the Lizard kind of lets me down on the OSD one day. So, you know, just so you can have that. I'm going to flash the picture so you guys can get a good observation of the wiring diagram, and then we'll start wiring it up. So there's a lot of controversy as to how you wire this thing, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Now, I already checked and made sure this is the proper way, okay? What you want to do is, these two leads take power from the flight controller, okay? These are the outs. You want to put these two leads, they're twirled up by themselves. You want to take these two leads and put it to the flight controller, okay? The other two red and blacks go to the camera. Those are the outs that go and power the camera. There's a video in and video out issue that everybody keeps mixing up, and I'll get it straight for you. The yellow from the flight controller goes to the yellow of the camera. Okay? That is your video in. It's the one on the end here. That's your video in. Your video out is the blue one. The blue one goes to the VTX. Okay? I just want to make sure you understand that. So, you've got your power going into the VTX, power coming out of the VTX into the camera, your camera video going into the flight controller, and the video out, the blue one, going into the VTX. That will make it work. Okay, hope that was helpful. Okay, so we've mounted the camera into the front, and as you can see, there's a lot of space right there behind the camera. That would be better for like a piggyback VTX like the TX200, but we don't have that. We've got the VTX03. So what I'm going to do is I've wrapped it, and I'm going to put it in the back right here, and I think that's going to be okay. I already checked with the props. It's not going to be in the way of the props, so that's where I'm going to have it. What I'm going to do, and actually I've already started this, I'm worried about the last standoff, so I put some heat shrink around the standoff. I think that'll be okay because it goes right there in the middle of it, and all the circuitry and stuff is in the way there. Also, I'm going to put a little dab of two-sided tape on the bottom of this piece where it lays down onto the carbon. I think that'll hold it for now. If it does go out, I'll order a TX200. That seems to be the easiest approach here. So just so you know. Also, the wires in the front here for the ESCs, they're a little tight. They're not terrible, but you can't wrap it around on the inside of these standoffs. You wouldn't be able to anyway because of the carbon here. There's just not enough room. So keep that in mind too. Keep it on the outside. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can get this thing mounted and see if we can get it going. All right, so I've got the VTX on the back here, and what I did, I put some two-sided tape on the bottom. I put some two-sided tape where it meets up to the stack here. Oh, sorry, I'm not even in focus here. There we go. Two-sided tape on the bottom where it meets the carbon. Two-sided tape, just a tiny piece because I'm trying to not cover this thing. These things get pretty hot. And I put some two-sided tape on the top because it looks like it's just barely, I don't think it is actually touching the top plate, but it'll push it down and it should be fine. And then put the top plate on, and you're almost ready to rock and roll. I'll go ahead and get that top put on there, and we'll see how it looks. All right, so I've got the top plate put on, and it looks pretty good. It looks very tight, but it goes in there. There's the VTX on the back there. You can see, and I can still get to my button. I got to use like a little pointer, but I can do it. And I'll wire this onto the arm. I always do the arm. I don't ever stick it up the top. And what I'm going to do with the antenna is I'll place it right through here and put it on. Clip that in right there, and I'll have that sticking up, so that'll be fine. I left this part out so that I can take the OSD off of the camera itself, and then I can just tuck it away. There's plenty of room inside there to tuck that away, but this is really made for a TX200. I can easily see that. You know, it's even got the notch for the antenna to stick out. But I made it work. If you have a VTX03 laying around, and maybe a micro camera, all you need to do is get this frame, and you're good. This is the Hummingbird frame, GEP RC HX2, I believe is what it's called. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. It fits. Let's get a weight on it. Okay. Wait for it to zero out, and here we go. So 65 grams, right on the dot. 65.1, something like that. Yeah, without the props. Here's some props. So 68.6 grams, props, everything, dry weight. So it's not bad. I have no idea what I'm going to do about this piece. I don't know how I'm going to attach it on the back. I may not do so because it could also just, I don't know how I'm going to do that. If you got any ideas or suggestions, leave them in the comments so maybe I can try it. Okay, so I've got everything hooked up, already tested it. Make sure it works. Everything looks good. I'm so worried about that one motor. Where's that? Yeah, this one here. You can see it's, you can see the shaft sticking out of it. You don't see it on these, they're inside. Yeah, I think that motor's gonna go. Come on, focus. Anyway, yep, that's it. So that is the Hummingbird with lizard guts and a Foxeer micro arrow. Foxeer. And a VTX 03. I did put a zip tie around it, but I don't know. I think this thing kind of holds it with all the two-sided tape I have. I think it's going to hold it in place. So I don't think I need the zip tie, but we'll check it out and see. But anyway, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed everything. I hope this helped someone. You know, there's a lot of stuff going around. I didn't see too many videos of this thing happening and making it work. So some of the other things that I did research on and stuff, why didn't I make this a 2.5-inch frame? The reason for it is because everybody does it, and then like the motors can't handle it. And I think the ESCs are the main cause. So what does everybody do? Well, they put it on a 2.5-inch, put the bigger propellers on there, blow the ESC, then they get new ESC, then they get new motors. I was trying to keep it as close to the Lizard I can, just holding that camera. And I did not like the way that the 3D prints and stuff were on the Lizard frame, how that looked. And I don't like putting a VTX on the top anywhere. So yeah, I crash a lot, and I crash that Lizard a lot. So hopefully this is just as bulky and, you know, can stand up to it. It's got good camera protection here. That's pretty cool. See, I can, you know. But yeah, that's all I got. Thanks, guys.